morning and Jai Hind, dear children. Welcome back to my English class. I hope everybody had enjoyed their Diwali vacations, and now it's time to get back to our studies. Well, children, today what we'll be doing is we'll be dealing with one very important topic which is under your grammar section, and that is called direct and indirect speech. Now, this direct and indirect speech is precisely also known as reported speech. Okay. Now, what do you mean by direct speech and an indirect speech? Sounds really strange, isn't it? Well, let me unleash this secret of a reported speech. Now, children, direct speech actually refers to the exact words of the speaker. Whatever the speaker speaks, when it is quoted within the punctuation marks which you had already, dealt with, double quotes, remember? Two small commas hanging up in the air. So when we write anything within those two inverted commas, and when we talk about the exact words spoken by the speaker, that is said to be the direct speech. Now, what is an indirect speech? A good question, because that is what we are going to do, isn't it? So, indirect speech gives only the substance of what the speaker said, but not the exact words. Okay, so that means whatever the speaker said, when we are conveying it in an indirect way, but not with the exact words quoted, that is called an indirect speech. Okay, let me give you an example. Well, she said, I'm going to Dubai. Now, this is the direct speech. This is the direct speech. Why? Because I'm, writing, I'm going to Dubai within the inverted commas. All right. And remember the punctuation marks. That is, when I say she said, after that, I do remember to put comma. Okay. And then when I start to write my quote, my exact words, thereby I put the inverted commas. Okay. So she said, I'm going to Dubai. That is the direct speech. And now, children, how do I change it in an indirect speech? So when I try to report it to somebody else, thereby I will say, she told me that she was going to Dubai. Right? So now what happens? The meaning remains the same, but I did not use the exact words which were spoken by the speaker, isn't it? So that is the only thing what we are going to learn in the upcoming classes, in my upcoming lectures. Because children, there are set of rules which we are expected to follow when we change a direct speech into an indirect speech. Let's deal with it one by one. During this chapter, we shall also remember the rules which we learned when we were dealing with the tenses. Okay, because in simple past tense, the rule is different. In simple present tense, the rule is different. And there are different set of rules when we are dealing with the perfect tenses and the future tenses. So let's do it one by one. Okay. Now, I will tell you some basic things about what a sentence in a direct speech is divided like. It is divided into two parts. Okay. The main part of the sentence contains the reporting verb. The quoted section, which is the object of the reporting verb. That means a sentence in direct speech is divided into two basic parts. Okay. The first main part of the sentence contains the reporting verb, that is said. Okay. Now, the quoted section, that means the dialogue or the thing which the speaker speaks is put within the inverted comma, and it has the object of the reporting verb. Okay, so these are the basic two parts of the sentence. Now we need to remember a few more things. Okay, let's do it little by little. Two of the most commonly used reporting verbs are said and told. Okay, so you will come across these two most commonly used reporting verbs. When we either do not know or do not want to mention to whom something has been said, we use said. Please remember, these are, I would say, tips. Okay, first tip is, when we need to mention to whom something is said, we use told. Okay, that means when I know that I need to mention to whom something is said, when I know to whom I need to tell, so thereby I will use told. Okay, but when we either do not know or we do not want to mention to whom we want to convey those words, that particular, sentence or that particular dialogue or that particular information, if I don't want to disclose to whom I wish to convey, thereby I would use said. Okay, so this is very important, which we cannot, tend to forget. All right, that means when I wish to convey to whom I wish to say, that time I will use the reporting verb as told. And when I don't want to show the world to whom I wish to convey the information, I want to keep it as a secret. Shh. So thereby what do? I use the reporting verb as said. Okay. Some other words which can be used in place of said are added, complained, promised, reminded, remarked, and pointed out. So these reporting verbs are used with respect, by keeping in our mind the nature of the sentence. Whatever the sentence demands, accordingly you will put these reporting verbs. Like supposing if it is regarding some complaint, so you can say he complained that dash 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 dash, whatever, blah blah blah. Okay, all right. Now when we are asked to change direct speech into an indirect, we have to make certain changes. Okay, now the changes will depend on many things, that is very sure. That is taken for granted, that it has some do's and some don'ts. The manner in which the speaker utters the words, is he merely making a statement, or is he giving an order, or perhaps making a request? That we need to remember. Then we also need to see whether the speaker is asking any question or not. Or say maybe is the speaker very happy, or is the speaker very sad, or is the speaker very excited, or is the speaker very furious? So, these emotions we need to understand, because accordingly the reporting verb will be changed. Okay, we will also notice that when we are changing from direct to an indirect speech, the main change takes place in the part of the sentence that contains what has been said. Okay, whatever has been said, that is the main place where we need to, fiddle with the words. Okay, now let's take a look at few sentences in direct speech, and then we will see how the change has been made in the indirect. The teacher said to the child, "Be quiet." Shh. Okay, so now how do I change? Let's see. Now in this, the teacher said to the child, "Be quiet." So be quiet is what? It is an imperative sentence, right? Because the teacher is commanding the children, ordering that be quiet. Okay. So now when I know that the sentence is an imperative sentence, it is an order, so I can replace the reporting verb with the word ordered. So how do we do the change now? the teacher ordered the child to be quiet. Okay, the reporting verb ordered has replaced the word said. Okay, and then we have taken into account what the speaker is saying and how she or he is saying. Okay, so that was how we changed the reporting verb. Now let's see where we can use the word advised. Okay, our coach said to us, drink fluids during practice sessions. So this is yet another form of an imperative sentence. But in this, can we use the reporting verb ordered? Can we use? Yes? Oh, no, we cannot use. Why we cannot use? Because according to the sentence, that is kind of an advice, that is kind of a suggestion which is being given. Okay, so here we cannot use the reporting verb as ordered. Okay, neither can we use the reporting verb as remarked or say added, or we can't even use the reporting verb complained, right? So how do we do the changes? We will say our coach advised us to drink fluids during practice sessions. Okay, so now the word advised is very appropriate. Why? Because that is what the coach is doing. The coach is, giving you suggestions that, you see, if you drink a lot of fluids, that will definitely help you in, maintaining that water balance in your body. Like you won't feel very tired, isn't it? So that is the reason the coach is saying. Now let's see, where do we use the reporting verb complained? Well, my mother said, my car has been giving me a lot of trouble. So in this, what is my mother doing? Is she very happy about it? Is she going gaga that, oh wow, my car is giving me a lot of troubles? No, na? So there, what can we use? We can use my mother complained that her car had been giving her a lot of trouble. And that her car needs to go for a servicing, right? So here the word complained reflects what? The mood of the speaker. Okay, the mood of the subject or the doer. All right. Now hence we change from direct speech to indirect. We definitely do need to take account of the mood of the subject. That is the mood of the person. Okay, and then how it is told, and whether it is sad or whether it is a joyous mood. Okay, the mood and the sentiment of the speaker definitely plays a very crucial role when we change it into an indirect speech. Okay, now now I'll tell you some basic rules. Okay, so just pay attention to it. Okay, when the reporting verb is in the third person and in the past tense, the following rules are observed in changing direct speech into an indirect. Okay, what happens? Now let us deal with it one by one. A simple present becomes a simple past. Okay, a simple present tense sentence becomes a simple past. A present continuous becomes a past continuous. These are given, these are mentioned in your books on page number 157 in your grammar books. Those who have their grammar books, please make a note that it's very important. Those who do not have can jot down the points. Okay. Now a present perfect becomes a past perfect. How? They said, we have done our duty. They said that they had done their duty. Okay. Now let's deal with the future tense. Now, shall in future tense is changed to should or would. Will in future tense changes into would. So there is no not a big deal if if you find shall in a direct sentence. Definitely you can change it into should. At the same time, you can also change it into would without even looking into the fact that the direct sentence, whether it was having will or not. But shall can change into would also. Okay, like they said, we shall play the match. So it will be, they said that they should play the match or they would play the match. Both are absolutely correct. Now, the simple past is often but not always changed to the past perfect. Now this is very dicey kind of a thing. Please pay attention to what I'm saying right now. The simple past is often but not always. It is often changed into past perfect, but it is not always changed into that. Like Bali said, I drank coffee after the meal. Bali said, I drank coffee after the meal. So how will it be in an indirect speech? Bali said that he drank, or it can be Bali said that he had drunk coffee after the meal. Okay, so when I'm saying Bali said that he drank coffee after the meal, so it is in past tense. Now it can be also in past perfect by saying that Bali said that he had drunk coffee after the meal. So both are correct. All right. Now supposing if I say, he said, rain fell last night. All right, this will be only in past perfect. It will not be in past tense. Okay, so it will be like, he said that rain had fallen last night will be changed into the previous night. Okay, so wherever you would find last, so it will turn into previous. If it is tomorrow, it will be day after. Then if you have next week, it can be coming week. If it is last day, it can be the previous day. Okay, so that is how the adverbs, they will keep on changing. Now let's talk about the next rule. Pronouns and possessive adjectives of the first and the second persons in direct speech are changed into the third person. Okay, like pronouns and possessive adjectives. Please remember that we would be dealing with the tenses, then the persons, that is first person, second person and the third person. Then you would also come across the various types of adverbs and the pronouns and the adjectives as well. So basically it will remind you of all the basic things which you have done till now in your English grammar. The parts of speech, I mean to say. Okay, let's take an example. Ali said to the beggar, I know you very well. Now, how will it be done? Ali told the beggar that he knew him very well. So, I know you very well will change into he knew him very well. Okay, so the first person changes into the third person. All right. Now, let's see another one. I said to the boys, you should do your duty. All right. So it will be, I told the boys that they should do their duties. Okay. So you should do your duty will be, they should do their duty. So if the person addressed reports the speech. Okay. If the person addressed reports the speech, the second person changes to the first person. This is very important. Keep a note of it. I'll repeat it again. If the person addressed reports the speech, what will happen? The second person gets changed into the first person. Like if I say, he said to me, you are a foolish girl. Okay, so when I will change the sentence into an indirect speech, it will be, he told me that I was a foolish girl. Okay, so you are a foolish girl will become I was a foolish girl. Okay, so this is another thing which I want you all to, keep a track. Like modal verbs, sometimes they change into some directed verbs. Like must becomes had to, will and shall becomes would, and shall becomes should sometimes, can becomes could, may becomes might. Okay. So there are some exceptions also. If the reported speech expresses some universal truth, with which we cannot change, we cannot fiddle with it, right? So thereby the tense remains unchanged. You will not do any change in the indirect speech. Like the teacher told the class, the sun is a star. So can we change that? No, we cannot. So indirect speech will be, the teacher told the class that the sun is a star. Now, if the reported speech describes a state of affairs which still exists when the speech is reported, its tense remains unchanged. Like if I talk about somebody's habit, if that habit is still there, still prevalent in that person, not changed. So please remember, you will not change any tenses thereby. Like the president said, the people of this country are very hardworking. Okay, so this is a state of fact which is not changed till now. Okay, it has remained as a fact. So there, what will I do? The president said that the people of this country are very hardworking. Okay, now let's talk about clause. Like if the reported speech contains a time clause, okay, that means if it talks about a specific time, like I'll give you an example. So thereby what happens? Again, the tense remains unchanged and you will not change anything with that. For example, if I say, she said, when I was an actor, I lived in Paris. Okay. So thereby, what am I actually, saying? I'm saying that when I was an actor, I lived in Paris. So lived is the thing which will not change in this indirect speech. So what will it be? It will be, she said that when she was an actor, she lived in Paris. Okay, so that lived verb here will not change. Okay, because it is indicating a time clause. Okay, now sometimes what we also come across is the gender of the person speaking remains very dicey. We don't know whether that person who is speaking is a male or a female. In that case, we use the masculine gender. Okay, so this is one thing which is very confusing and we generally tend to make mistakes. So please remember, make it a point that you jot down these small tips somewhere in stick notes, as I had kept on telling you. Okay, these stick notes are very helpful. They are so much catchy and attractive in colors. You have various 3 to 4 neon colors available. So what you can do is you can just write down especially the reporting verbs and the adverbs, where it changes and how it changes, and you can stick it in front of your study table or maybe in your notebooks, so that it attracts your attention and you tend to remember them. So I was talking about this use of masculine gender when we don't know the nature of the speaker. Okay. So thereby, for example, if I say, my teacher said to me, I will speak to you on Monday. Okay. So if I talk about this, then we need to just, remember one thing. We will not change the gender of the speaker. We'll say, my teacher told me that he would speak to me on Monday. Okay, so I think I have covered up many things in my first class. So I have one, I think these are very simple. There are sets of 10 questions in your grammar book on page number 158. I would like you all to do this in your books itself, and in my next class, I will again, just do a recap regarding how the words change. Okay. And maybe just a brush up with few of the rules. Until then, take care and be good the way you have been. And please don't forget to do your homework, that is exercise A on page number 158 and 159. Till we meet again with yet new things to remember, things to recollect and to learn new. Okay, bye-bye, take care and Jai Hind.